and welcome to the 67th edition of the Trading Opportunities webinar. This is Nirav, and currently I'm just testing the microphone. So if you are able to hear the voice and see the shared screen, do let me know in the comment section. Well, I'll just check it at my end. So it looks like I have just made a big win on my trade on US 30. Anyways, let me just. So I do not think I can share the screen here without sharing my account details. So I'll just hold it off for sharing during the email newsletter sharing part. But anyways, just for the sake of context, I just closed an extremely huge trade, which was based on the analysis we did in the last webinar. Anyways, so let's get started with the formal thing. Hello, Philip. So let me just get started formally here. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. What is it? Let me just quickly open up a few screens. By the way, how about you other guys? I can see a lot of you are online. Philip just said good morning. Good morning to you, Philip. It's evening time here actually. And Sanjay Prajapati is there. Hello. Hello, Sanjay. I'm doing excellent here. So this was, by the way, I'll just share the profits later on when we go in the webinar, but I think I've made about 30 or 40% of the whole account in the single trade on DAW, by the way. So we'll discuss it as we go along in the webinar, right? And as I said, I cannot share the terminal screen because it contains too much details, personal details. But let's just get started with the actual stuff. We came here with the actual disclaimer. There it is. So guys, before we proceed with the webinar, here is the legal disclaimer suggesting that one second. Yeah, suggesting that all content presented is for educational purposes. I'm not soliciting buy or sell. If you do want to use the views presented here for your trading, investing, or for any other purpose, you yourselves will be liable for your profit, loss of profit, etc., etc. A very quick what do you call introduction. My name is Nirav. I'm the admin and owner of 50 Eyes Market Analysis YouTube channel and 50 Eyes .com website, and we have been doing these webinars for quite some long time. This is the 67th in the iteration of these webinars. We call them Trading Opportunities webinar, and I go live every Friday at 2 p.m. GMT, 7:30 p.m. IST, and you can convert it to yours other time zones regarding respectively. So within these 65 webinars, last 65 webinars, we have captured 84 plus big moves, and we will see what happened with the 65th webinar analysis today in the 67th one, right? And before we move forward, I think most of you already know, but I have a very old track record, which is above industry standards, almost touching 90% accuracy for last 6 years, and you can just check it because it's publicly available. Yada yada yada. Instrument name analysis, basically a lot of analysis I have done, and all of it is publicly available. Most of it is publicly available, sorry, and the accuracy stands very high. For instance, in 2020, you can see we did 61 analysis, out of it 54 hit our targets. Right, so I will not bore you with this stuff, and I have a very exciting trade upcoming on S&P 500. As I just said, using the analysis discussed in the last webinar, I was just able to make roughly 30%. I will have to calculate the actual one, but we'll do it when we reach there. So let's get started with our very exciting discussion of today's webinar. And yeah, one more thing, guys. I'm thinking of starting the private group this week, and the fees and everything I'll discuss later on, somewhere in the middle of the webinar. So stay tuned, right? This will be an interesting one. So first of all, let's go ahead and start with our regular stuff. Here's the chart of Euro USD on screen. Where the hell is the timer? Okay, so here's the chart of Euro USD on screen. And last time when we discussed, we were of the view that this market was inside a wave 4 kind of correction. We were actually here. Am I missing something? No, everything looks good. So 1 second, let me just check the comments here. Good morning, Philippe. Sanjay is hello, Sanjay. I'm doing well. Justin is saying good morning. Good morning to you, Justin. Madhavji is saying hi, sir. Hi, Madhavji. Do give me a call after the webinar is over. Philippe Kalpon is saying good evening. Good evening, Philippe. How can I be a part of your Discord member? So yeah, Sanjay, let's discuss that near the middle of the webinar. Let me see if any more comment is remaining. Yes. So stay tuned for more information. So first of all, as I was saying last time, we were somewhere here, and I was thinking that this is a wave four of some degree, and we were thinking that it will just go 1 second. It will just go within this range, right? If you, I currently do not have the YouTube video, but I remember I drew some lines like this because my view was that this will become a possible triangle, which will then go down, right? So if you were following the last webinar, you should have been able to capture some trading opportunity because we, as I just said, were able to predict that this market will move lower. And I can just tell you from the time frame as well. The last webinar was done on 2nd. So 2nd June, the last webinar was done. And as I said, I drew some arrows like this. And let me just see if I can quickly open an incognito tab and load up the chart just for the sake of record keeping. It's time consuming, so I generally avoid these things. But just give me a few seconds here. Let me see. 66th. Yeah. So here is the recording from the last webinar. Let me remove the drawings. Yes. So this is what I was saying in the last webinar that the market is going to go down and then sideways for a while. This is the exact analysis. And since then, the market has done exactly that. It went down, right? So one part of the analysis it completely did perfectly, and then it did not remain sideways. It went up. So that's what exactly what I was saying. If you were following the analysis, you should have been able to capture some part of this. Yes, it is given to believe that we would have hit our stops somewhere over here. But as I said, these are trades that require your involvement and your analysis as well. So now let's see what's happening on Euro USD right now. So right now, what I have done is I have two views here. First of all, let me just put it like this. Yes. So first of all, I think that this market may have completed the correction, the A down, the B up, and the C down over here. That is one possibility which will suggest a strong upside movement, right? We do not yet have evidence for it, right? But let's just consider this as hypothesis number two, that the downward movement is complete and this market should head higher. So what is the hypothesis one? The hypothesis one is suggesting that this market is currently having one more down leg remaining, and the updated count for this is over here on screen. The updated count suggests that we have a wave 3 here. Wave 4 is under continuation, which should be followed by wave 5, right? And the whole count starts from this point of reference around 1.1092. I think we guys already know what impulse and Elliott wave is, but if you do not, then this is the rough structure of an impulse. It will have 5 waves inside of it, three, four, and fifth. So currently we have done the first, we have done the second, we have done the third, we have done the fourth. Sorry, we have done the third, we have done the fourth, or we are in the fourth. So which should be followed by downward movement. Now the thing to note about this wave 4 is it has already touched the 23.6 retracement level, went above it. Next level is 38.2. But if it really does go there, that then I do not think it is the right count, because we already are seeing that the wave 2 was very deep, and generally by the alternating guideline of Elliott wave, the 4 is expected to be not that deep. So that's why I am expecting that if this wave 4 really goes there, then the chances of this being a wave 4 gets reduced a lot. So long story short, I have an alert placed. This is kind of useless, but I have an will have an alert placed right now near the 38.2 retracement level, which is currently around the price level of 1.08652. So if the market really does go there, then the expectancy is that it is going in the upward direction. That is as per hyper 2. And hyper 1 is suggesting bearishness. So how will we play this out? I'm currently waiting to see a clear reversal sign. There is currently no real sign of weakness on this counter. This itself is looking like a base building exercise, right? So we are waiting for a sign of bearishness, and yes, conservative players can put an alert near the lows, like near a 1.067, basically near this low, and then wait for it to break for possible shorts. But I'll just hold on. Possibly in the Monday session, it will give us, or Tuesday session will give us something clear. So not much to add to EURUSD. Just wait and watch. Upside count invalidation levels we have discussed, and downside setups we still have to see. But yes, we can place some alerts near the lows like 1.068, roughly speaking. And if it crosses to the downside, we can look for possible sell opportunities. That is about all for this counter. If there is anything to ask, any doubts or questions that I may have missed in this what do you call discussion, do let me know, guys, before we move over to the chart of crude oil. I'll wait for a few moments here. And by the way, if you are clear on whatever we discussed, do make sure to type in understood, clear, or something of the sort, so that we know everybody is on the same page. Thank you, Philippe and Sanjay, for the confirmation. So let's now head over to our next chart, which will be the chart of WTI's crude oil West Texas Intermediate. And for some reason, my counts are not on screen, so I'll just reload the page. Yeah, they are. I'm not sure if this is the actual. They are messing up my counts a lot these days. Let me try reloading it again. So let's just work with whatever we have here. Not like I can do anything here, but it looks like the last save was not saved. Definitely was not saved, and I have lost some of the work I have done on this chart. Let me remove it and redo it for you guys right away. So first of all, let's just see what we were thinking in the last discussion. So this is the recording and the last webinar's count. There we were thinking that we have a wave A up, wave B down is complete, and we were expecting one leg up. This was basically a zigzag correction, which we discussed in the last webinar. And the alert I have placed is somewhere near this resistance level. So the idea was that if it takes out this alert line, then we will look for longs. And overall, the minimum target we were expecting was that the market will at least go till here, which is represented by this box. So now let's see what happened in the actual counter. So in the actual counter, actually, you know what? Let me just check one more thing here. Yep. Second. Yeah. So yeah, what happened is on the actual chart itself, the market did cross the high, right? And it has, after crossing the high, fired over alert and then went back into a corrective kind of a pattern. So let's just see what's happening here. It actually triggered our longs, long story short. Let me remove the little bit of the clutter I have over here and get to the actual discussion. So what is really happening here is the longs are triggered and I am not holding anything on this counter. I generally prefer to take short-term positions like the one we will discuss on whichever the last trade was. So anyways, the idea still remains the same. The idea still is that the wave C up should be having one leg up remaining, which suggests that this market should move something like this, right? Then what is this? It looks like we are possibly inside a corrective structure. Looks to me like we may have a WXY in play. Let me just check for some other. Yes, it does look like a WXY in play. So in that case, this should be the end point of the correction. So that would mean that we have a wave one over here. By the way, there is one more possibility here, which I'll just discuss after this one. Let's just first finish the bullish possibility or super bullish possibility, let's just say. Right. So this is what the super bullish possibility is currently suggesting. Now let's see what the other alternate view I have is. The alternate view I have is that this market could also be having the wave A over here. Sorry, not A over here, W over here. And this could be just a continuation sideways. In which case, again, I expect that the market will go higher, but that basically suggests that it will remain sideways for quite some time, say for the next 2 3 sessions, upcoming sessions maybe. So it still is suggesting upward movement, so no change over there, right? It is a less likely scenario a little bit. And lastly, the actual stop loss for this position should be near the low around 67.40. But I personally, if I'm going to take a long, I will look to take a stop loss around 69 level, because if this really is the end of wave 2, then we expect new movement to start and the wave to low should be held by this counter. Let me check one more thing real quick here. So it has already surpassed the minimum retracement levels, so that makes 69 level an even strong invalidation level. As far as the longs are concerned, I think somewhere here I will like to get an alert, and around 73.38 I would like to enter. 73.26 or 22 something I would like to enter longs, which will be the takeout of this level. Not much to add here. The whole count remains valid, and the analysis is also valid. I have just discussed the invalidation levels for this count. So if you guys have any questions, please do write in the comment section before we move ahead with the next chart of gold. I do seem to have a question here. Degree and what can see on WTI? Yes, Sanjay, I think I just discussed the triangle thing. Possibly that is what you were referring to, I think, right? If not, if there's something else, do let me know. But yes, I've discussed it on the shorter time frame. We do have analysis of WTI done on the larger time frame in a little bit more detail, which is, I believe, in the last or last to last webinar or something. I do not really know. So you can check that there. But if you're referring to the shorter term triangle, then I have already covered it. So guys, let me know if there's any questions. If not, please do type in clear, and we can maintain the momentum of the webinar. I personally think there is not much to discuss here. So let's head over to XAU USD or gold analysis. Let me see. Thank you, Sanjay. And let me see what was the analysis on gold. So gold is doing a little bit of out of the ordinary kind of movement. So I have updated the counts accordingly. Let's just refresh it for the sake of. Yes. So let's see what we were discussing on gold in the last webinar. So first of all, this is the rough outlook on gold. I think we had this analysis was the main one. I was thinking that this market will continue downward movement and then it can go sideways or and fall. Or second thing I was thinking was that this market can just simply fall. Right? These were the two analyses on this counter. So let's move it and see what happened. Thank you, Philip. So the analysis done was on 2nd June. So it was somewhere here. The price I can see on chart when this market was discussed was in the 1961. So it was somewhere here, not somewhere, it was exactly here. I can see on the last chart. So at that point in time, as I said, I was thinking that either it will go straight down or sideways and then down. Now what happened is it has gone down. Right? That part happened precisely. My idea was that it will at least take out this low. That would have been the target minimum achieved, and that would have also meant that the analysis has played itself out as we expected it to. However, that is where the unexpected part starts. First of all, this market goes up, not an issue, but the strength of this movement up is a little bit much, right? Which is then followed by another leg up, which is itself suggesting that perhaps this market is doing something else. So basically, I am currently on the outside of this market. I am currently not trading gold. And the reason is that it is not following our count well. Okay. So now let's see what are the different hypotheses we can come up with and why I am holding the stance of wait and watch on this counter. So first of all, this is the little bit updated count from the last analysis. It is still suggesting that this market is sideways going for wave 4, right? Interesting thing to note here, if you measure the wave 2's length, then around 49 points movement was there, and 49 points movement was here as well. So literally almost the same price movement, the market stopped, right? So now coming back to the actual discussion, if this really is a wave 4, then maybe it's going to be a triangle, maybe it's going to be a flat or complex, who knows really, right? But the thing is that we are not really interested in, or we do not really want to see this impulsive bars inside a wave 4. Okay, of course things can happen, but this suggests that the count here can get relegated real quick. So that is why I am just waiting outside, and I'll just push alert near the lows unless I see some really clear evidence to take shots near the current levels or a little bit higher levels. I do not want to do anything on this counter at all, right? So what does a movement which will suggest shorting opportunities look like? Well, something like three waves down and then three waves up would be sort of the kind of movement I'll be looking for, right? So second thing that I think can happen is, this is the blue trend line, which is the 2-4 trend line. So it has already been tested once. It is possible that this market is going to go test it again. If it does that, then we will look for reversal sign here, a reversal candle, and spikes above the blue trend line, and then it will again give us a possible selling opportunity. So these are the two things to look out for. One, price action which is corrective, and second, the retest of the blue trend line. Currently no trades on gold for that reason. Let me check the second count. Yeah, it is suggesting the same thing. Right, so wait and watch on gold, literally no trade here at all. I don't think there is anything else to talk here. Let me know guys if there is any question you guys have before we head over to our next chart, which will be S&P's 500 followed by Nifty and in the end BTC. Also do type in understood or clear or something in the comment sections if you guys are clear. Okay, I don't see any questions here, so let's just head over to our next chart of what is this? S&P's 500. So as I was discussing, I had just pulled a really big win on this counter. One second, let me check something here. Yes. So really big win on this counter. So first of all, let's see what the analysis was on the last discussion around 2020. Let me see. Yep. So this is the video from the last discussion of S&P's 500. So first of all, in this video, as you can see, by the way, where is it? Yes, Philippe, thank you for the clarification. Right, and would suggest other participants to also be a little bit more, what do you call, participating, right? So anyway, this is the recording of the 66th webinar, as you can see on the bottom here, right? And this was the main analysis. We were thinking that this market is in a 1-2-1-2 nested formation, and one leg up or a strong leg up is remaining, right? This was the analysis, let's say hypothesis one. And there was a second hypothesis which was suggesting that while upside is remaining, it is not going to be very strong, and there was a small limitation or a limited high which it will achieve. Okay. So particularly right now, what I'm seeing is that it has done the bare minimum, which is exactly where I booked the profits. If you guys are observant, you may have heard me hitting the exit buttons, and I booked my profits right around here, 43.17. Actually, that was my target, right? The whole analysis was based from the on the same analysis we did in the last webinar. I did nothing new or nothing additional here, but some new points which are now coming to light we will discuss. And yes, as I was saying, this single trade itself was very huge. And while I cannot pull the terminal on screen for simple enough reasons, I can share you the percentage details of the profit here. Let me see. Three. What is this for? So roughly 34 something percent profit I have made just now on this trade. And I was holding a very big position because the account, as I said, the whole account I'm talking about, not just the profit from the trade, the whole account is up by roughly 34%. So while I still hold the view that I should have held some positions, but due to the huge amount of positions I have exited, and I'll look to re-enter again, possibly in the next session. And if in this session, then the position will be rather small, right? So before we move ahead with the discussion of this chart, what I wanted to discuss with you guys was that I'm thinking of starting a private Discord group, and the contents of that would be, first of all, mate, you are commenting here things like analysis and stuff. People do not come here to follow your analysis. So I would advise you hold that off. And secondly, I do not have a Telegram channel. I'm finishing about the new Discord. So just listen a little bit. So yeah, guys, as I was saying, the new Discord channel, I'm planning of holding private webinars. One, I'm thinking at the weekend, like when Sundays, and then a follow up near Wednesdays. The important things will be that I will be also having stuff in it, such as your requested charts. And of course, you can join in live or watch the recordings. Additionally, there is some additional value content that I can provide in it. That includes additional courses and stuff. I really haven't figured out what else should be there. Right. So this is what I'm currently thinking. If you guys are of the view that you should remain in touch, and if these webinars have brought you some gains knowledge wise or profit wise, whatever, then do contact me via the contact us page on my website, and we can see how the participation is. The reason I'm not pulling the trigger right away is because these things, they take up a lot of my time, right? And I do not want to be committing a lot of time unless I have assurance that there will be some participation. So what I would suggest is that if you guys are interested, just contact me first via the contact us page. If you have contacted in the past, do so again. Doesn't really matter, right? And I'll provide the details of what I'm thinking here, and it also gives me an idea of what is the amount of interested audience here in the new project, right? So this is the contact us page, 50s.com/contact us, right? Let me know what you guys think, if you would be interested in something like this, a Discord channel or not. With that being said, let's now head over to our next. One second, guys. Okay, so with that being said, let's now head over to our current discussion of the S&P's 500 chart. And as I was saying, the past analysis is holding well, but I can see some few details. Let's just quickly check on the 4-hour chart. Let's see. Yep. The main thing, or the main resistance which I'm seeing here, is currently at 4287. The market has already taken that out, and the next immediate level is 4372. So both of these levels we will be watching out for. If I am going to add new longs, I will be looking to exit around 4372 levels, of course, given the fact that the market goes there. Right? It's not like I can move this market, or any market for that matter. So secondly, the analysis, it remains the same. This is your wave one, this is your wave two, and nothing really to add here. Still of that same view, which was discussed in the last webinar. Only thing which we should keep in our mind is that if this is the, one second, A and then ABC. Yes. So this is the second view which I wanted to check, or I wanted to keep in mind, which suggests that this market is possibly in a zigzag. Again, this is a low probability scenario, but we have to consider all the possibilities. And in a scenario something like this, the wave C will have a limited upside. Generally, we will measure the 1:1, right? And then we will try to figure out the end of wave C. But that is really not what you call important point at this point in time. The only important thing here is that this market takes out this high, which is currently here at the level of 4324, right? So if the market goes higher than 4324, then technically it has done the bare minimum. Okay. So if the market has done the bare minimum, then it can reverse. So that's just one thing we need to keep in mind, and really need to be mindful of it and keep our stop losses accordingly. Now, with that being said, it has become a sort of situation which is kind of make and break level here, right? On one hand, we have an analysis. By the way, are you guys still following me? I'm still not seeing much of a participation, so I have to ask, are you currently able to understand the simpler count we had? Okay, so as I was saying, and dude, stop spamming the comment section, right? Jesus. All right. So as I was saying, that was one of the main themes. With the two analyses put together, what I am thinking here is that this is kind of a make and break level. On one hand, if the market really is not interested in going up, it can do the bare minimum, that is go higher than the last high, which I think it will do in today's session itself. And then it can reverse from any level. It can reverse from here, or wherever it wants to. Second thing is that if it really is able to go above it with good volume, and we should be able to see that with the strong big candle up, then it should go straight up and fly high for the wave third, which we have been discussing long time ago. I think we have discussed that in the past 2-3 webinars. So S&P is something you should keep in your watch list, like at the top of your watch list, because this is going to give us a lot of intraday trades as well as swing trades possibly. Nothing much to add here. If there's any question, you can just put it in the comment section. And we will now head over to our next chart of Nifty, which will be followed by BTC. And yeah, one additional thing I was thinking, which should be included in the membership, is I can share details of the trades I have taken with the step-by-step analysis on how I reached the deduction of taking the trade and why I exited wherever I exited. That includes trades that were both closed in profits as well as trades that were closed in loss, right? So I think that will be a really good insight other than my own add-ons or other add-ons, I mean. So I think we are all set here. So let's now head over to Nifty. A little bit of correction here, or not correction, I should say a little bit of change in count here on Nifty compared to our last analysis. Let me just give you a outlook of what we have changed. 37. Yeah, just Sanjay, just contact me via the contact us page I just showed you earlier, right, with the proper details of what you are looking for, and I'll let you know if it's for you or not. But from the current message, it does look like it will suit you, right? But if you have anything in specific, as I said, just contact me privately. So first of all, on Nifty, what we are looking for, what we were looking for last time was some sort of correction. I was hoping for that it will go a little bit lower before heading up. It did not go much lower or lower at all. 2nd June, yeah, this is where we were looking for. I'm not really sure if there was a second hypothesis discussed, but I remember that my own main understanding was that I'll be looking for long only if the market pulls back a little bit. However, after the current movement, I have updated the analysis, and currently it looks like we may have possibly completed an impulse. I'm not 100% sure. On this count, there are a lot of corrections we can do here. For instance, we can still say that the 3 is somewhere here and the 5th is still continuing. That's definitely a possibility. With these Elliott Wave counts, count updation is definitely something that keeps happening. So I'm not going to comment on that because that is something we are not 100% sure right now. But what is quite clear over here is the fact that we have a sort of either a wave 3 complete or a complete impulse complete. If the complete impulse is complete, then we can see the market go much lower to 18,300 levels, or 18,300 levels, I should say. But as I said, with more emphasis, I should have pushed it. Let me just do that here. So with more emphasis, I'm pushing it here is that the fact that the correction may be a short-lived wave 4 correction, right? Nevertheless, even if it's a wave 4 correction, we are then expecting some sideways movement or downward movement on this counter. In either case, as I said, in either of these cases, if it's sideways movement or downward movement, whichever it is on this counter, no longs. I'm not interested in any longs for now, right? So for that, I will be only interested in above 18,720-ish level. So that's why I have alert placed over here. And for the shorter time frame, I will be more interested in selling Bank Nifty, which looks a little bit weaker currently based on the correlation analysis. But we are not going to discuss that in detail. So long story short, we are looking for something like this, and we are interested in taking longs. But for now, we wait for either 18,720 or higher levels. Right. So wait and watch on Nifty for possible long progressions. That is about it. Nothing else to add on Nifty counter here. Jesus Christ, man. This guy has now changed 3 accounts with 3 different names, and he's just pushing some analysis he has, right? I asked him politely. He keeps coming back with his analysis. Yeah, we'll let it be there, right? We'll let your analysis be there. First he's Brad, then he's Jonas, and one time he was someone called OK. Probably like some school kid or someone with the emotional temperament of a school kid. But anyways, let's now head over to our last discussion, which played out precisely. And yes, guys, before we proceed, do let me know if you have any doubts or questions on the Nifty counter. 11 participants. What about the participation, guys? Don't just be in the chat. Okay, I won't be waiting whole day for it. So let's now proceed with our last chart, BTC, which has, as we know, played out literally as we expected to be. No, dude, I'm not going to verify anything. First of all, I do not come here for giving free classes. And secondly, you are absolutely rude, right? I just asked you not to post anything of your count, but you have been posting Nifty even when we were not discussing it, right? So you can keep posting it. I won't be blocking you, but you are not getting any more attention. Okay, guys, sorry about the little problems there. We are going to discuss BTC now and 42. Right. So first of all, last time when we discussed BTC, where is that? Okay, I do not seem to be having the video open right now. I think may have closed it. But anyways, last time when we discussed BTC, it was very clear that we were looking for a downward movement. There was a setup discussed that this is possibly a triangle, right? I am not sure if we discussed the trend line or not, but I am 100% sure that we discussed that below this 25,800 level, we are looking for this white support level, right? Below 25,800, we were looking for white support region. That is something I made 100% clear, right? And this white support region was what is this 25,330 something, roughly speaking, to 23,962. Now, I personally was able to take some shorts, and yes, after a very very long time, I did trade BTC. Right, a very very long time has passed. So while I traded after a very long time, I did trade it, and I was able to successfully capture some of this downward movement. Right now, what is happening right now is two things are possible on this counter. Firstly, it has not done things in the exact manner which we would have liked. For instance, our target was a big zone. It has only touched the upper part of the zone. Generally, I would have liked to see it go a little bit deeper, at least near the middle of the zone or something like that, like somewhere here or a little bit lower. You can see I already have an alert placed over here as well in the middle of the zone. So first of all, it has not completely achieved the exact target we were looking for. So that leads to the second possibility or hypothesis 2, which we will discuss afterwards. Now, first, let's discuss the hypothesis 1. Hypothesis 1 is suggesting that the bare minimum is complete. That is the bare minimum movement, which is an A leg down, B leg up, and then actually not, I'm not so sure about that B. I will have to check that. So anyways, in either case, it looks like it has completed a WXY or a zigzag kind of correction. So that means this could be a low in place, and that means it could just fly high from here. That's our hypothesis one, which is suggesting it could just go higher from here. Now, as I just said, it has not achieved the downside target, the complete downside target, because we were hoping that at least it will go inside this white zone, right? I'll just mark it 25,330, and what is this? 23,944. So as I just said, we expect it to go at least inside it. So that suggests that H2 cannot be relegated right now, right? We cannot just come out and say that H2 is completely out of the question or something like that. So that means downside possibilities still cannot be relegated. So where does that lead us in terms of what do you call trading this thing, right? First of all, if this market is still to go lower, I do not think it will go lower straight away. I think it will go at least sideways here, or maybe a little bit up as in a zigzag, and then go lower, right? That gives us possible what you call setups to play on. For instance, if it is going up as a zigzag, then we can place our alerts at the trend line of the zigzag, right? And we can also use the wave belows as our alert levels. Right now, we do not have anything like that in play. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my previous downside alert near the market lows. Just to keep in mind, this is a conservative setup. If the market goes up and then decides to fall, of course, it will fall to our or possibly to our 23,944 targets. But of course, it has to take out this low, right, of 25,460. So that's why I have placed a target around 25,460, right? Conservative target. And as I said, this is something that needs to be updated from 1 or 2 sessions. After every 1 or 2 sessions, we need to update it, right? We cannot just comment on this thing right away. So what is happening here is we need to wait and we need to see either a clear setup for downside or a break of the 25,460, whichever becomes clearer first, right? That will be our continuation to downside setup. Second thing is if it goes higher than what is this 28,430, only then I will look to consider upside movement, right? So currently, yes, it can. It's actually 28,400. Sorry. So currently, yes, it can go higher, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's why there is no clear setup for upside. Yes, I will be interested in longs above 28,400 or 430, whatever this level is, just check it at your end. And also the data feed will change the levels. But as I said, we do not have 100% confirmation for the upside because the downside targets were not properly achieved. So no clear upside setup, but downside setup we have something, and we have to make a follow up for it. So keep BTC in your watch list again. I believe it will give us a good clear setup in I think what is this next 2 sessions maybe. I'm expecting on Monday and or Tuesday, and I think within next 2 sessions it will give us a clarity of what it is really doing. I think it is quite clear here, and I do not think there's anything to add, right? And if you have any doubts, of course, regarding BTC, you can just put it in the comment section. Lastly, if you were not able to, one second, if you missed the little bit of the announcement which we did near the S&P part, then I was saying that if you are interested in the private Slack group, you will have to message me via the contact us page of my website. We are looking to start it, and it will include requested charts discussed in private webinars. You can, of course, be a part of the webinars. And of course, I will break down my own big trades. For instance, today I closed a trade, right? And the trade was based on the entire analysis of the S&P, and the whole account is up about 34%, roughly speaking. So things like that I will not reveal here publicly, and things like that I cannot show my account here publicly either, for of course security reasons. But in the private group, I can have people who are verified via their credit cards, who are real entities, unlike the spammers who come here now and then. So there will be a lot more value in it, and I can discuss more things, and I will not have to hold on to what you call many of the concepts and knowledge that I do hold on in this public webinars. So again, I'm not giving you a complete overview, right? It is still a work in progress, and I would like to see how many of you people are interested in a private webinar, right? So before we start anything, I want to have a little bit of a census of how many people will be interested. So if you are interested, you can send an inquiry here, give details of what markets you trade, right? And give details of what you might be expecting. I'm not gonna be running a what do you call a signal service. So if you are looking for something like that, just stay away. No need to waste your time, right? And pricing, etc. Everything. Do write an detailed email, and this is the page 50s.com/contact us. Right. That's about it for this webinar, and nice to see you here, guys. And make sure you hit the like button and share the webinar. I have seen that recently the number of likes and views have reduced. So definitely put some efforts from your end as well. It takes a lot of time to do these webinars, and I will appreciate you guys appreciating that. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.